Good night, everyone, and welcome back to another DTools Cloud After Dark webinar. Thank you for being DTools customers, tuning in and giving us so much helpful feedback. Like always, I'm going to breeze through a PowerPoint of our agenda before we dive in. If you're a new user, welcome to the DTools Cloud team. I'm Leanne. I also go by LB, and I'm a customer success manager here at DTools. I'll be hosting this evening. Andre and Tiffany are also customer success managers, and we're here to help train you guys, coach you on best practices, and pass your feedback on to our product and development team. Megan and Veronica are your DTools Cloud account managers, and they're here to help guide you as you onboard and maximize your use of the software by adding training hours and services to help you guys to scale your businesses.
It's my pleasure to introduce our super special guest, Adam Holden, the head of payments at DTools. Adam is presenting tonight. He has over a decade of experience in sales leadership, payment integrations, and strategic business development. And at DTools, Adam leads the development and implementation of embedded payment solutions, and he's our expert when it comes to the payments ecosystem and merchant card processing. So to get set up with DTools Payments, he'll be your point of contact. So make sure you're scheduling time with him to ask more questions and just make sure that you're up and running quickly. All right, so again, tonight's topic is DTools Payments, right? So sending payment requests to clients is important to foster a steady cash flow and generate that recurring revenue. So we'll talk about creating and sharing payment requests and best practices to streamline that process, and tracking and monitoring your transactions and deposits. We'll highlight your QuickBooks settings and how to set up automated recurring payments, which will also give your clients the option to autopay for service contracts and monitoring agreements. And finally, we'll discuss some exciting upcoming features on the roadmap, invoicing directly within DTools Cloud to streamline billing processes, and invoicing multiple payment terms at once for greater flexibility and just an easier way to manage client payments. So instead of having someone submit payments 3 or more separate times, just put it all in one invoice and be done with it. Right? And then those convenience fees, you'll be able to pass along those credit card processing fees to your clients to pay shortly. And we're really excited about that one.
Well, thank you everybody for taking time out of your evenings to join us to learn a little more about DTools Payments. As LV was stating, we'll be going through where DTools Payments is going to live and help enhance the abilities of DTools when it comes to collecting payments off of your payment requests, off of your proposals, and then also where it's going to be able to help you automate that recurring billing in your service contracts. And then we'll move down into the billing and the reporting. So starting up at the opportunities. So we just, we created an opportunity. We sent it out, now we're going to be able to build it out, send it out to the client to be able to accept it and sign it. So we're going to do here. So just instead of sending it out to the email, I'm just going to present it as if I am the client opening it. So I'm going to open that up. It's going to have our very nice proposal that we built out here, with all of our locations, equipment, everything that you would expect to see on the proposal. And we're going to go ahead and accept it and sign it. And where this would normally end, so now, we've won the opportunity. Now we have to figure out how to collect that first payment or that first deposit. As you can see here, as I was describing that, we are brought directly to our payment screen in the exact same flow without having to leave the software at all to make that first payment via credit card or bank transfer, ACH. And also as an added benefit, if someone were to open this up on their iPhone or on a Mac device, They would also be able to utilize Apple Pay and their Apple Wallet as well. So now that we've gotten our proposal signed, we've gotten it paid. Now we can mark it as one and move it down into projects. So now from here, instead of having a fragmented experience of sending out payment requests, collecting payments, different ways, maybe outside of the system using some other payment processors or maybe QuickBooks, things like that, we're going to be able to manage the progress of the payments throughout the project directly from the project itself, making it super simple, keeping everything in one place for you. And again, this is where we're going to be able to start billing moving forward, as we start to mark off our terms here. So as we can see here, we won the project. We've collected that first deposit. That's already accounted for. So we're moving through our project here, and we're going to, make our new payment requests for the next term. So up here, and this is something that I'll touch on once we get into the settings. So the QuickBooks Online enhancements for the integration, which will help you make and create invoices inside of QuickBooks Online without you having to leave DTools. So I'm just going to uncheck this for now. But as we can see here, we have our payment requests. We have the DTools payments option right down at the bottom. And this is where you get all of the control of how you would like to be paid. So this is where you can choose to either turn on ACH and turn off credit card, leave both of them on, vice versa, or turn it off. You have all of those abilities directly from the payment request prior to sending it out. We'll just we'll hit create here, and we'll bring this up as if we were the client paying it. So we would send this out to our client, either a link or an email. They would open it up and they'd be brought directly to this payment request screen. Obviously, your logo, your information, your client's information, so on and so forth on the left-hand side here. And then right down here at the bottom, this is exactly where the clients are going to be able to make their payments. Super simple. There's no chance of them, paying the wrong amount. They're just presented with the amount to pay, and they simply pay it. Once the payment's completed, once it's approved, you get a notification. Your client gets a notification of that payment, and then the payment is always kept on the payment request itself. And as we can see here, we can go right back into the project, and we can see that this has already been marked off as paid. And as long as we use the automation and created that corresponding invoice inside of QuickBooks Online, that would also be marked as paid as well. This is also where we'll be able to, bill for our change orders directly from here as well. So again, keeping everything in one place, making billing, super easy, being able to manage everything directly from the project. Now, coming down into service. So the service contracts, these are where DTools payments is definitely going to help in the background. So while you're out, on the job sites or your crews are on the job sites, you can automate that recurring revenue in the background. Now, I created one here just before, so we can show how this is going to work. So what I did prior to the call, I just sent out and created an opportunity, got that approved for a monitoring agreement, and started the building out of the automatic payments. So as we can see here, it's billing frequency monthly, length of 24 months or 2 years. We have our start dates and end dates in here, an estimated start date. Very important to make sure that we put these key pieces of information in here, or else the automation is not going to work as stated. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our payments. We're going to enable the automation. And when we enable the automation here, it's going to build out a full payment schedule matching the terms of the contract. So again, monthly billing for 24 months or 2 years. So it built out everything here for me. And then you can then choose, your terms for how long you would like for them to get a notice prior to the automatic payment being made, and then the due date of when it's actually when it's going to run. So you have those choices here. And then you're going to hit next. Going to make sure the payment automation is turned on here. We'll go here and let's see. Oh, would help if I put my email in there. All right. Go ahead and request that first payment. And when we request the first payment and they receive that, they will be brought to the payment request. As long as you turn on the payment schedule, which I always do recommend, that way they have a full schedule of the dates and the amounts that they're going to be billed, even though it is monthly and the same amount. It's always nice to be able to give them that. And then down here at the bottom, we can see here that they have the choice to enroll in auto pay or do a one-time payment. When they enroll in auto pay, it will save their information and store it. There we go. Perfect. And then what's going to happen is you'll receive a notification that your client has enabled and saved auto pay and that they're now enrolled in it. And as we can see here, down at the bottom of the payment request, we see that they are enrolled with their credit card and the next payment date and the amount as well. And then also once the payment is completed, we can see it down underneath the payment section here underneath the contract itself. So really great way to be able to automate that recurring revenue in the background, just making it easy for you and also making it easy for your client. They're not missing payments. You're not having to chase them down and everyone's happy. Now, moving on to the billing page. So now we're moving on into the billing, the reporting, and basically the tracking of payments. So from the billing page here, really nice area as you start to use payment requests through D-Tools, especially with D-Tools payments, you're going to be able to track all of your payment requests that you have out, with these filters, the preset filters that we do have up here. You can see how many payment requests that you have out in each given month and what's been collected and what's needing to be collected. And then also with the D-Tools payments, you're also going to have the transactions and deposits right here on this one billing page. So again, very nice place for you to go and get a very good view of everything that's happening payments wise and billing wise, for all of your projects and contracts. Now, if we were to go into either one of these by hitting view all, it's going to bring us down into these sub tabs. We have the transactions payment report as a sub tab here. And if you've ever used an outside payment system and used multiple systems trying to collect payments, reconciling all the systems, making sure that you have all the key pieces of information, it can get tedious. So here, what we've been able to do is we build out a full transactional payment report that goes one step beyond. So it's not just an amount and a client name and a date and that it was approved. As you can see here, we have a full view of the project, the change order, the call or contract it's associated to, the term that the payment's for, the client it's associated to, and then your normal who paid it, the time and date, the amount, how they paid you, whether that be by credit card or ACH. And then in a live environment, the status would let you know if it's been approved, if it's been failed, if there's been any sort of ACH rejects. You'll be able to view everything from this payment report. And then also diving down deeper into the payments, all you have to do is just click anywhere on the line item and you're brought to all the detailed information like the billing fee and the net that you expect to see from this transaction. So just to recap, so we've seen where D-Tools payments is going to be able to enhance and make the process of collecting your deposit on your proposal a whole lot easier. Managing the progress payments as we progress through the project, keeping everything in one place, being able to be notified when these payments are made. Now we're going to be able to see from payments being made to settlement and then the funding into your bank account. So at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the system is going to settle, or the money is going to settle out or batch out, as we say. And then the next morning, you'll have a deposit record created between 10:35 and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is going to be created with a status of processing, which simply means that the money is on its way to the bank. The status will automatically update to succeeded once the bank has taken ownership of those funds, and then you should see those funds in your bank account by the end of that business day. Now, just knowing that we're getting an amount is great, but what is the deposit made of? We can provide a deposit detail report by just clicking on the deposit line item. It will open up the deposit detail report, and it will let you know all of the transactions that are associated with that deposit, the total amounts that were paid, the fees associated with each transaction, and then the net, which would equal the total that's being deposited into your bank account. Now, the second piece of automation for QuickBooks Online also lives here. So when you have that turned on, when the money or the transactions do settle overnight, DTools will send over the fees associated with that settlement or with that deposit, and ledger that appropriate inside of QuickBooks for you, making reconciliation a little bit easier rather than having to do everything separately. And then these reports, the transaction reports and deposit reports, are all exportable to CSV and Excel, just in case you wanted to take a look at it outside of the system, or send it to your bookkeeper or anything else like that. And then coming down to settings, so DTools Payments will have its own settings as we continue to expand the product offering. You will see the settings page start to expand. So here right now, this is where you're going to find your pricing. The pricing is always going to be on the account for transparency purposes. The automatic payment collection. So instead of going through all of your contracts, having to pick out who's going to auto pay, who's not, we give you a very easy way to manage that. So when you do have clients on auto pay, all you have to do is hit manage. It's going to then bring up all of your clients with a way to view that client or view that contract, along with the total amount that they're on file for, the next payment date, and the method that they have saved on file. This is also where you can come and unenroll somebody from automatic payments if they choose to be unenrolled. And then for email templates, making things a little bit easier, we give you the ability to customize email templates. So we give you one for the payment request emails, payment received. So this is the email that goes out to your client once they have successfully made that payment, and it's fully customizable. You can use our merge fields to be able to bring in information, from the particular transaction, from the client, so on and so forth. And then the auto pay reminder. So this is the reminder that is going to go out prior to the automatic payments being ran. And then the second function of this notification and this email is going to be where the client can update their payment methods on file. That way, they're not having to call you. You're not having to take credit card numbers or bank account numbers over the phone, putting that liability back on the card holder, the account holder. Again, just making sure you don't have to handle that sensitive information. And then all the notifications will come from DTools when it comes to DTools payments. So those notifications down here are going to include deposit notifications, so that money on the way to your bank account. That's going to be failed credit card and ACH transactions, as well as chargeback or dispute notifications. And these are all sent out via email, as well as they will pop up in the notification up here as well. That way, just in case you may miss the email, you're still getting that pertinent information, as soon as you log into DTools. And then the global payments offering. So what this is going to do, so every time that we create a payment request, it was created with both ACH and credit card as a payment option. If we were to come in here and we were to turn off credit card, every payment request moving forward is only going to be created with an ACH offering, and then you have the choice to activate credit cards on a per request basis. So again, giving you all of that control, making sure that you're getting paid the way that you want to get paid. And then just coming up into the integrations. So at the top of the call, I said I would go in and show you the settings for the QuickBooks Online enhancements. So if we just go into settings here and let this load, and we come underneath invoice, this is where you are going to see the automation settings. So having the two-way, basically two-way sync with QuickBooks. So if you do create an invoice using the automation, and let's say maybe you got paid with a paper check and you marked off the invoice in QuickBooks as paid, it will flow through and mark the payment request off as paid in DTools as well. And then here we have the invoice creation and transaction fee automation. So this is where you're going to be able to turn that on and off. And then coming out in Q1, we're actually redesigning this page and breaking this out. So you will have the choice of having invoice creation turned on, but fee automation turned off, or vice versa. That way it matches how you're used to doing business and how you're used to doing the books, and picking and choosing how much automation you would like there. And then down here, these are mapping options. So this is where you would map your accounts inside of QuickBooks to the corresponding account inside of DTools. That way everything's going to flow appropriately. And then just touch on a couple of things that LB was talking about at the top of the call for our coming soon. So we do have a lot of really neat things coming out with DTools payments, and this is always available for you to take a look at. So the really big one that we have coming out is going to be the convenience fees for DTools payments. So this is going to be able to provide you an option to be able to offset your credit card acceptance fees by passing on a convenience fee to be able to offset that. And then also AQ1, we're going to be able to do invoicing for multiple terms at once. That way, just in case you have multiple things you want to bill for, you don't have to send out 3 or 4 payment requests. You're going to be able to do that, at once. And we have, like I said, really, really neat things coming out. The other really big thing that will be noticeable inside of DTools is going to be the chargeback management. So instead of just notifications for chargebacks now, we're building in a module for chargeback management. So that will be where you find your transaction report, deposit report, and then you'll see your chargeback report underneath that, just making things a little bit simpler for you.